I had to stop what I was doing and make this. I mean, it's very important. Um, it's very important because I don't want people looking at my mother as if she's just this rare species of monster that lurks in the shadows. No, no, not at all. I don't want people to look at my mother like that. It's not like that at all. My point is that my mother's species is common. That is my issue. It's not that I'm not pointing my finger at my mom and just my mom and going, ooh, you evil fucking bitch. Look out, everybody look at my mom. All spotlight on my mom. No, I have to. So I never even was expecting to do any of this. I mean, if you follow me from the beginning, I had my traumatic brain injury and all this injury that I had, last year, and I did not think it was going to entail this. I didn't know this is where this was all leading to. I had, at the age of 18, a child and was in the military and a wife. At the age of 21, I had a 3-year-old. I was out of the military and still married. By the age of 24, I had a business, my own start from scratch business, 2 kids and a wife, a soon to be ex-wife. And then that's shortly after is when I went, started my divorce and the separation. That's when everything just went boom. But I was a functioning alcoholic and still had all these issues. It's just, I had grown up in a environment where it was extremely macho. The men were extremely macho. I mean, dude, we fought. It was nothing. It was not. I grew up in an extremely masculine environment around when I was outside of my house, even in my house it's just like a man was a man, right? And I grew up it's just sad, man. This is very sad. And to just know it keeps getting perpetuated. So that's why we're talking about it. And we're not talking about it to condemn one person, my mother. We're not talking about it to condemn 3 people, my mother and my 2 cunt fucking bitch ass selfish ex-wives who are both abusing my children right at this moment. The abuse is happening right now. Guys, this is so disgusting. What I'm trying to point out, the abuse, my hands are tied. I can't physically go and take my ex-wife and stop her physically from abusing my son medically. Because she has the whole force of the state behind her. In the medical field, who all want him on pills. I can't go the same goes with my other ex-wife in the area that I'm dealing with over there. But look, man, what I'm trying to say is that the only way that these women are even imagine we lived in the United States. Okay, imagine this. Okay, just take your mind and wrap your mind around this for a second. Imagine if we lived in the United States. In the United States, one of the biggest things was they rewarded you for pedophilia. You were rewarded for how many children you had in your harem, It would become so normalized, right? That nobody would be like, ooh, you're fucking around with little kids sexually. You don't do that shit. You're ruining things. No, it would be like, oh, you're ruining 30 lives. Wonderful. That is how normalized this abuse has become and how the state in the medical establishment and how the whole system in the realm, in the God, in whatever is in charge, the powers that be are. That's what I'm trying to tell you, cocksuckers. Listen, this shit is so normalized and pushed, but it's underhanded because they can be like, well, we would never want, we have programs for people like your mother. We don't want you getting, we're sorry you got abused. You slipped through the cracks, son. No, cocksuckers, it's all on purpose. And that's what I'm saying. It's all engineered. It's engineered with the fucking education system, which I call the indoctrination system. It's tied in with the damn, it's tied in with it all. But let me get back to where I was, because I'm becoming overwhelmed. This is all being driven on purpose. The only reason my mother was able to get away with my abuse, you know how many fucking men, even my stepfather, knew about my abuse and nobody did it? Because listen, it's just normal. It was normal because people were like, he who has sinned casts the first stone. And that's what these religions keep people shut up. And these religions are nothing but opiate. It's like an opiate. It numbs you. When you should be getting worked up and fucking when something comes up and you find out your nephew got fucking abused, you're supposed to fucking want to take care. You can't. Because your hands are tied by the state, because there's laws and legal and this and that, and they can sue you and blah, 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 blah. And it's all like this for a reason. And it's not the natural order of humanity and how things go. No, and just people be, no. This is being driven. These are agendas, guys. These are complete agendas. There's books written about it. They've been pushing this shit forever. This is always how it's been. I mean, this is nothing new under the sun. This is how it operates. And what I'm trying to say is my aunt is a disgusting, narcissistic. She is so much responsible when it comes to being a human. She is so much responsible for my abuse, for all kinds of abuse that happened. She is so much responsible. Oh my God, I can't even begin to start. But I am going to begin to start because I want you guys to understand. We can keep on going because I can go past my aunt, but I'm just going to go because I just have a feeling like too much undeserved hatred and feelings are going towards my mom right now. As in, my mom is just an example. The only thing my mom is for me is an example for me. That's all she is. And I can use her all I want because she has never apologized. The only apologies that have ever been made by my fucking mom were, again, I have gone through years of alcoholism, trauma, everything else. So my memory is fucked. And I'm not going to say for sure I know, who brought up what or whatever. But what I can tell you is my mom is a very sneaky, manipulative motherfucker who has not recanted a goddamn thing she's done and has very quietly behind doors, the most she's ever conceded with me before I cut her off, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, was, oh yeah, okay, Richard, we both know we did wrong, but let's just leave it at that. That kind of shit. You know what I mean? No, bitch. What the fuck are you talking about? No. So that's why my mom's fair game. So, but at the same time, I'm a human and I don't want, even though, look, I could sit here and talk about my ex-wife and tell you every fucking detail about my first ex-wife and just make everybody hate her. I could do it about my second ex-wife. They could do it about me. I mean, but that's not the fucking point. What we're doing here is not trying to make each other hate each other. That's completely opposite of what we're trying to do. So let's spread a little bit of this fucking emotion around a little bit to this multi-billionaire, billionaire aunt I have, okay? She had an opportunity. She knew I was abused. Her kids were in, okay, again, billionaire guys, these people have more money than my mom. We were poor. We lived in a cabin, in a hunting cabin up on a mountain in front. I mean, come on, guys, it's unreal. Like, it really took me this long to see how awful of a person you have to be to treat your sister the way my aunt treated my mom. How awful a person my aunt, and how narcissistic and nasty and disgusting she must have been. And that really makes me start to wonder now, the abuse that my mom might have went through that nobody else saw, that my aunt, who knows? You know what I mean? These women are weird, which I see it playing out between my sister Kristen and my sister Hannah. How Hannah is the golden child, and how Kristen was the one that made to look crazy with all these issues. See what I'm saying? This shit, and that's why it's important for me to speak out. I'm really hoping, the other thing that's been on my heart recently is my sister Kristen, man. I really, I can't save her, but I can recompense for, because she's obviously a very sensitive individual as well. So she knows how I felt about her, because I thought she was lazy when she wasn't living with me, or when she was living with me. See, it's all starting to come back to me recently. Things are starting to come back. She was living with me, but she was young. Like, God, she must have been 17, 18. And I was trying to get her to get a job, but she was running around doing drugs. I didn't know she was suffering from trauma. And the thing is, I was the most traumatized physically out of everybody. So, and I had denied it all. And I just said, buck up and fucking do what you got to do. That's how I was a mean, nasty, fucking alpha, dumbass gorilla. You know what I mean? Like, I was a dumb fucking gorilla. Man, that's what I'm saying. The abuse that I fucking perpetuated is just, like, it's unfathomable for me. Like, that's why I guess this healing, it takes so long. You just got to process, and it just comes to you as it comes. And as long as you're proactive and that's your main focus, which it has been for me for the past year, I'm able to work through these things and figure these things out. But man, goddamn, dude. Yeah, the abuse, just sitting here as I'm verbalizing, that's washing over me, that I've probably perpetuated, and I know I'm perpetuating, and on those that I love the most, and just through the programming of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, through the programming of you got to do what you got to do, through the programming of buck up, through the programming of your feelings don't matter. The end result matters. Getting the job done matters. Your feelings, it doesn't matter how the fuck you feel. And the only time I actually can ever remember fucking calling out my feelings like that when I was younger was, and it's so funny because I was talking to my buddy the other day about this. I don't know how things get. There's just so much going on. Like, I'm so in these frequencies now that I have no agenda, and I'm not trying to get anything other than healing, and I'm not trying to perpetuate anything other than healing for other people. And I have no underlying anything. I don't want anything else. You can take everything from me. I don't care. Take it all. I don't want it. And so I'm having these honest conversations with people, and man, crazy, dude. But yeah, this stuff is so simple to break, man, and it's just the way we break it is through speaking out about it. But so again, my aunt, could you imagine, you growing up best friends with your sister, supposedly, and you guys are like only a couple years apart, and you have kids at the same time. My mom was like 18, just turned 18, or I think when she had me. My aunt was like 17, and then they both had a kid a couple years later. So by the time they're 22 years old, they've both been married, divorced, and had 2 kids. And then all of a sudden, so they're 22 years old, women, girls, with 2 kids each, divorced. And knowing these women, especially, so looking at my second ex-wife, I know the games that she played and her friends, her friend group that in social groups she ran around with and how they did things. And I can't imagine 2 sisters, beautiful sisters, who were like, able to get whatever they wanted and knew how to get what they wanted. And for one of them to land a multi-generational, a generational multi-millionaire, and the other to marry this gutter rat, youngest of 13 gutter rat, and move into your father's, because so my aunt married the multimillionaire and my mom married the gutter rat. That they actually, their families knew each other back when they were kids. And my stepdad was like 10 years older than my mom, so they looked up to him. So imagine these fucking, god damn, man, I can only imagine. No wonder my mom clung so tightly. So then my aunt held that. So my aunt knew she had taken over and had the upper hand, but my mom probably refused to relent. And then that's what drove it. And I just got fucking gnarled up. I just got gnarled up in the middle of that mix. Because guys, I'm gonna tell you a real quick dirty story. This story is gonna have to be told again, but I want to go ahead and get this out there too. Because after I joined the military and then I had gone back to my aunt's house, maybe I was thinking about it, that I don't even think a dozen times over the course of maybe few years, maybe 4 years, 5 years, I had gone back over to my aunt's maybe a dozen times at the most. I don't even think that many times. And my grandma would be there. My mom's mom and her mom, my grandma would be there. And by that time, I'm like, oh, and I would go there without my wife. I would go there with my son, who was a baby and a young toddler at the time. And they would always be sitting there gossiping about my mom. Imagine being in a multi-million-dollar home with all the, kicked back in their fucking $100,000 couch going, how's your mother, Richard? And I'd be like, I don't know, you got to ask her. Oh, well, we're asking you, Richard. And then, so now it's all coming back to me, how they treated me, you know what I mean? And how it was, but I was immune to it. I didn't see it for what it was. And now I see how badly they treated us, their poor side of the family, very badly. And then my uncle, the only other dynamic in this whole thing is my uncle, who is their youngest brother, which you can imagine now, them having a younger brother and that dynamic. So yeah, oh my God. And I haven't been thinking on these things. I mean, but god damn, man, when I fucking speak this shit out, how plain and simple and fucking nasty it is. Obviously nasty. But anyways, yeah, I got to get some of this family dynamic out. And I'm going to talk more about this. More of this is going to have to come out because, again, I'm just feeling how, it's bringing up to the trauma. I feel the trauma. Like right now, I just feel like, I feel the trauma stirring up from deep inside me. It feels like it's right down here, like right above my groin area, like right in the pit of my stomach coming up. And it's just like, that's trauma, baby. That's trauma. So yeah, we'll get this shit out. Getting deeper. And not pushing it. I'm not pushing anything. I have not pushed a goddamn thing. I am literally I'm on a vibration right now that is sustaining me.